Today we're going to be taking a look at POV Aerial. This is the site, so I'm just going to go through how to do most of the basic things on here. So to log in, you'll go to your web address and then /wp-admin. That's going to take you to the login page. And this is where you'll put in your administrator email, whatever email or username you gave us, probably an email and password. And we'll log in. And then this takes you to where everything that we need to know about the site and all the things that we need to do. The stuff on the right-hand side isn't very important, isn't really anything we need to worry about. What we'll be doing, what I'll be doing today is going down through the things on the left-hand side in this panel. And that's what we'll be using. So this is the stuff that makes your site function. So we'll just go down the line and talk about each thing, starting with updates. Would be if there's any updates for plugins and you don't currently have any, but we do go through all of our sites and update those regularly. So you don't ever have to worry about that. You are welcome to update them if you want, but you don't have to. I don't believe we're using posts on this site. That's just a test post, but we're not using a blog on this site. Media is where all the different media items, mostly photos or logos, things like that, videos, anything that we've uploaded or that you are going to upload to your site will be located here. And you can access your media library everywhere that you're going to need to use it. So you don't usually use the media tab very often, but you always can look at it or see what you have here. So that's just your media library. Moving on to forms, you are using a form, a contact us form, and this is a pretty simple form, and it's fairly easy to change or set these up the way that you want. So right now we've got very, very few things, and they're super easy to use. So in here you can add different items and different fields through the standard fields. This will just give you a line for whatever you might want to add there, and then you can make this say whatever you want. You can drag these and reposition them wherever you like, and you can get rid of them if you decide you don't want them. And then under advanced fields, you have things like name, and then that's already there for you and you don't have to change it. Or you can click on it, and then if you don't want people's last names, you can get rid of that, or you can add it. So it's we'll get rid of that because we don't need it. And you've got here you've got a field with several different things. If you end up expanding and want to add another option, you just hit the plus and then type in whatever you want there. Or you can get rid of them with the minus. And you can create a new drop down just by clicking drop down. And if you wanted to add a second list, then you can type in here what you want, and you can make it a required field if you want. So those are the basic functions of forms, and you've got a pretty simple form as far as this goes. You can preview it. It doesn't show up in the format that it will on the page, but it gives you sort of an idea of what it will look like, but it is kind of hard to tell sometimes through the preview. But then you can go into settings. I'm not worried about saving anything because I don't want to change anything there. And probably don't need to worry about this particular page, but notifications, that's who's receiving notifications for the forms. And so right now it's set up as just sent to the admin, which you will be an admin if you're not already. I'll check and make sure, and we'll get you an admin. But so it's going to be sent to an admin email, and you can always add a new notification right here. So then I can come in here and add a name and an email. And then you can send it to a different email or a Gmail, and then every time someone fills out a contact form, you would receive it. And then under entries would be wherever anyone has used your form, and then those will show up right here, and you can access those here. And yeah, those are the main functions. You add forms within pages pretty easily, so I can show you that when we get to it. But that's the main things for forms. And if you ever need to add a new form, just click add new, and you'll just use this. You'll give it a title, and it brings you here, and it kind of explains it a little bit for you, but it's all the same stuff I just showed you there. And then you'll click update as you go to save it. And I will go ahead and delete that because we don't want it, so we'll trash it. And you'll notice it shows up here in trash, and so if you accidentally ever delete anything, there's always a trash tab and you can restore it, but I'm going to delete it permanently because we don't need it. And let's move on down to pages. On your site you have I think, trying to remember, you do have pages, yes, through here. This is where your pages are. That's right. So you've got, let's click on video, for instance. That's where, or that was photography, but let's look at video. So this is functions the way that a normal word processing thing, like, you know, Word or something would function. And I want to look at this again. We're on video, so let's look at the video page and see what it looks like, just so we have an idea what we're working with. So you've got a header with the price, and so the different packages, the price, and then a little description with a bullet. So these are bulleted lists. You've got this set up as, I need to click this toolbar toggle right here so I can see the rest of the options. You've got this set up as heading 1 and this set up as heading 2. So heading 1's obviously bigger. Heading 2 is the next size down. So that's why it shows up in this nice, neat way to show two different colors, bigger and a little bit smaller. And so then you could come in here and change the wording on anything however you would like. And you've got, at the bottom of your page, looks like, yeah, you've got schedule your session. And you added a form through here. And that's how the form is added through Gravity Forms. And so again, just you can scroll down, change any of the wording here that you would like. And this is just the short code that places the form that places the form there. Sorry. And you can add pictures in here if you want to add pictures right within the page. If you want to add a picture in here somewhere, but probably not going to do that because you've got a video and you've got other things. But if you ever wanted to, that's how you would do that. And we've got the featured image set by coming in here and choosing it from this library. So you set the featured image, and that's how you set what is up at the top here. So let's see, photography. And then as you work, you want to hit update, and that's what saves your work. So come back to all pages, and you can see, we can just take a quick look at the photography page, and it's set up the exact same way. You've got a bulleted list here, heading 1, heading 2. So yeah, you can change the size, you can bold things, put things in italics, you can hyperlink to a different site if you want to hyperlink to your other sites or your other agencies or anything like that. And then, like I said, you set your featured image through here, and then you've got this at the bottom of your page that you can change the wording on if you would like. So those are the main things you need to know about pages. We're not using comments because you don't have a blog or anything like that. I believe we don't need to look at this. We'll come to Essential Grid down here, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Let's move to homepage areas. So if you are on the homepage, these are each area. Homepage areas, they're each section of your homepage. So you have a site that you helped create a lot of these elements and vision. So it's a little bit more complicated than other homepage areas, but I will go through to try and explain the best I can to help make sense of this and help you be able to update these as you move along. So the top is the main slider, which you'll notice when you go to all homepage areas here, these aren't in order. They're in order under reorder, and then you can drag and drop, just drag these wherever you want them to go to reorder them. But they're not in order here, but this is how you edit them, is through homepage areas. So if you'll notice, at the top you have what we are using is Revolution Slider, and you've just got short code there, and we will get to Slider Revolution down here, and we'll talk about that. So let's go back to homepage areas. For example, under the About section, or this section, just like Pages works, this is similar. It's got a title in a bigger heading, and then it's got the rest of the information down below. And again, you can center this, you can adjust it however you would like and however you want it to appear. And then if you keep scrolling down, the background is made through files. And so in your media library, you could make the background of whichever section, whatever you want it to be. So in this one, it's a picture. The background is a picture. And in this one, it has this graphic here. And that's what's being used, is these graphics. And then you can change the color. You can type in the code here or drag this around to get whatever color you want. And you want the color to either be transparent, opaque, that's controlled through this slider, and then padding gives it extra padding. So on this one, there's probably the padding button's probably not clicked, but on this one it is, because it's giving some padding on either side of the words. And those are the main things that you need to know here. Again, come in here and click Update whenever you make any changes. And pricing, let's see what we have here. Pricing, is that on here? Yeah, so it's a white background, so there's no background. You don't have a background image or a color, but we do have padding, and then you've got your information. So that's just a white background, and then the fonts are just in the colors. So that looks nice and clean, easy. So if you wanted to add a new homepage area, you would just come in here, add new, give it a title, make a heading, and so let's say I want to make this text white. Come in here, click white text. I want to make a button. I'll say learn more, and I want to make this a button. So I click button, it's now a button, and I want to link it to Google. Then I come down here, And I pick whatever picture I want to be in the background. And I want to put a color over it. So let's put a nice, I don't know, whatever color. I want to make it transparent, give it some padding. Let's publish it and see what it looks like. Come over here, refresh, and there it is. And then you would reorder that by coming in here to reorder. So let's go ahead and delete that so that your site can go back to the way that it looks nice and clean without that thing I just made. And what else do we have going on here that would be good to talk about? They're all pretty much set up the same way. In this one we've used some columns. But again, photography is 4. This one. Again, if you just want to change the wording on these, so we have some short codes so that they're set up into columns here. But if you just want to change the wording or the titles, that's easily done by coming in here and clicking update. So all those items are found in homepage areas. And like I said, you can create a new homepage area if you create a new graphic and you want a new graphic here. You would just change the background on this one or whatever you wanted to do. So those are the main things there, and I think that should get you set up to help. Genesis is a theme we use for the website. Nothing you need there. Appearance. There's 2 important items under appearance. Those are widgets and menus. So let's start with widgets. This is what controls what's at the top here. It allows the menu to appear here, and then whatever we have in the footer. So in the header right, you have your logo and you have your menu, and that's probably, yeah. And then here you've got your social media links. So how these items are added are under, so if you, for instance, I believe what you're doing here is if you end up having a Twitter that you want to link this to, I was looking at the site earlier and I don't believe these are linked to anything right now except your Facebook page. So if you do change and you want to add, you'd come in here. And under this image, you can link to a custom URL and then paste your URL there and click update. And then you would click save down here. And if you wanted to add items, if you wanted to add some words, or if you wanted to add a form, come in here, decide where you want it to go. I want it to be in the header or I want it to be in the footer. Add the widget to the footer and then decide which form you want to use and click save. And then if you decide you don't want it, get rid of it. You can drag these wherever you want to reorder them or to put them in other places. If you just want to add some words, that can be done through Visual Editor. So if you want to add just some words. So if you want to put some words in the bottom or the top of your page, then you can, again, format them however you want. And then you would hit save and you can drag and drop and put this wherever you would want. So that's using Visual Editor. So go ahead and delete that because we don't need it. Moving on, let's talk about menus. This is where you create the menu items for the top of your page here. And these are all created on your page. They're created so that when you click them, it takes you to a certain part of your page, of your home page, except for one of them is not. Thought one of them maybe took you to an external page, but maybe not. So that's all set up. We put code in the page so that we could link directly to a homepage area. But if you want to be able to link to a certain page, you would just click, the pages are over here. You can come into view all, click whichever page you've created, add it to the menu. You can make it a sub-menu item. You drag it and put it wherever you want. And you can change the label. And you can remove it. And then you would just come in here and click save. Those are the main things. You can also do a custom link by typing in your URL here and giving it a header, whatever is going to appear right there. And then add that to your menu. So moving on, plugins are what we use to build your website. Users is where we will come in and create an admin username and password, and then once you are in here, you can change your password if you would like. And you want to make sure you have a good, strong password to protect your website. A lot of these things tools and settings, not things we need to talk about. Slider revolution, if you'll remember, that's what was used to create this slide at the top. And here you just have one picture, I think, at the top. But if you wanted to change out the picture, you can come in here, click change image, and choose whatever picture you want, or you can upload whatever picture you have and want to add there. Then you can also duplicate this slide if you like the way this one looks, where it zooms in and out. It's not doing it right now, but it does zoom, not in and out, it zooms out. And the image drops in. If you just want to duplicate it, you can duplicate it. And then if you wanted to come in here to this particular slide and change some things in it, like I said, you can change the background image. You could change the size of this, obviously holding the shift button down and change the size. You can add text if you'd like. Add a layer, add text. Can change the font of that text by coming into here. I don't remember what fonts we used for this website, but let's pretend. Can change the weight, can center it. And then you can see what layers you have by coming in here, can edit what you've said. Then I can come in here and change the font size. Oops. You want to change the line height as well. You can give it a background. You can give that background some padding. You can animate it. You can have it and then you come down here to change the speed. So this is, if you change this, it changes the speed at which it happens. And then if you drag it, you can change how long before or after which element. So whichever element you want to come first. And then you can preview it. And you always want to save your slide, and then you move through each screen size and make sure that it fits properly. So in this screen size, it doesn't fit. So I've got to work my way through each screen size to make sure that it fits within the edges so that it's responsive on mobile and that it looks right on each screen size. So on this one, you've just got to play around with it. So either make the photo smaller so that it all fits, or you can always make the font smaller, come into style, make this smaller. There you go. And then hit save on each screen size. And you'd probably want to, mess around with that a little bit. And then you can click preview. And there you go. So again, you can always, and then you can work your way through each screen size to see what it'll look like. And you can you can add a slide completely, add a blank slide. The way you make it zoom out is through Ken Burns and just playing around with these numbers, kind of keeping it somewhere in this range, not too much higher than 113, not too much lower than 100, and just play around to see how much zoom you want it to have. And then that's in your slider revolution. And if you want to save this slide for later, you don't want it to appear right now, but maybe you want it to appear in 6 months, you can always make it invisible without deleting it. But I am going to delete it because we don't want it. So that slide was deleted. So we'll click save if my computer doesn't freeze up. I want to reload. Okay, that just kind of froze up on me there. Yeah, so that's fine. And you want to go into slider settings to find the short code. If you ever want to put this slide somewhere, you would copy and paste that and put it wherever you wanted it to appear, in a homepage area or on a page. And on the top of your video page, you also have a video slider here. By changing the YouTube video there, which I'm assuming you're probably not going to want to change. So moving on to Essential Grid, this is what makes your gallery right here. So you've got, when I was looking at this, I accidentally duplicated it earlier, which doesn't matter, but you want to look at settings, and in settings, that's where all your pictures are. So you can change the order, move one before, move one after, move after number. You can drag it and move it however you want. You can edit it, can remove the image or choose a different image. You can stop doing that. Okay, so I don't know why it keeps doing that. And you can add items through here. So do I want to add single or bulk items? And then again, it takes you to your media library, and that's how you would edit that. Click save, and you can refresh and preview. You can delete the grid. Obviously, you're not going to want to do that. You can add through here, and that's your short code right there where you would copy and paste it, and that's what's pasted in your homepage area. So pretty simple. I think that's pretty easy to figure out, just adding extra pictures or getting rid of pictures or moving them around however you might want. And the rest of these things, you aren't currently using a map, and pods is just what we use to make those homepage areas. So that's everything. That's all the main things that you need to know how to use to make your site function. And if you need help with anything moving forward, you can always contact us, but this should give you a really good start. So yeah, you can always get in contact with us if you need additional help, but this should be helpful.